Thanks, Ed. Hopefully there's over 75,000 people there to watch Dustin Martin in his 300th game against Hawthorn. And what a game it's going to be. Hawthorn on the rise, Richmond winning last week. There is the Dusty 300. I love that statue too. I hope you two can get that up. And the Hawthorn the way they're running and just running in waves, Jim, it's hard to stop.
Yeah, they've got midfield depth, they've got quality, but it's running power and the will to do it. And of course, Will Day there kicking it off. But just look at bottom of the screen, through the middle of the ground here. As soon as they win possession, they just lengthen the field. And this is what coaches ask for. Don't live back, don't live around the stoppage. Lengthen the field, get the numbers for the footy, and good things happen. Space opens up. Gideon there, who's through the middle of the ground. McDonald's another big one who starts as a high half foot. Just watch the yellow boots here. Keep them in mind as this play plays out. There's Gideon here. He pops up again. But watch, even every single player is lengthening with a lot of speed. Defence is just running with their numbers facing the wrong way. As we look, the yellow boots a little bit before. If this ball was dropped, he would have got the ball front and square. He starts again down near you there, Lloydie. McDonald with the yellow boots. Gideon up really high. And they're half forwards. Don't just live up the ground. Lengthen, get back inside forward 50. And this is how you create easy goals. The outnumber, forward of the footy, get marks inside. That's how you get good scoring opportunities.
Well done, Jim. To Richmond's credit, their pressure the last 3 weeks has been outstanding. When you've only won one game leading up to last week, surely you could drop off more so. They've ramped up their pressure, and it needs to be like this. So the pressure they brought to Adelaide was extreme. It's what won them the game, and you have to do this against Hawthorn. Otherwise, we'll see what they can do to you.
Yeah, because you've got to take care of the source, as we just highlighted, because we know the Hawks are going to get on their bike, but this gives you an opportunity in games. Of course, you're young and you've got some injuries, but it's the experienced guys who come back in the side. Big Dan Curvis has been doing it for the last 4 or 5 weeks, been excellent in doing that. So gives yourself an opportunity against a good side. What's really impressed me, Lloydie, is we've got to see a number of Tigers that we probably wouldn't have throughout the year if it wasn't for the injuries. And I just wanted to highlight a couple here. Brown, where I think we've all got the competition on nose, is a magnificent kick of footy. Don't underestimate how tough that is. McAuliffe, I'd love to see not be the sub for the rest of the year. Just play him at half back, inside, in the middle. Look at that, great composure, good ball use on the left foot. And another guy who I really like as a player is Seth Campbell. I think he's pretty good overhead for a little fella. But this is a big moment in the game over there in Adelaide. Adelaide were coming at them, steady, dumped that one home from pretty much 50 in the pocket. Great bit of composure.
So the heartbeat of Hawthorn, Will Day, that's what he's become. I think he's become their most important player. So without Will Day, they were 1 win and 5 losses. He's joined the team back of their 5 wins and 2 losses. And I think I talk about great players, they have everything. So he's tough, but he's skillful. So a lot have one or the other, but he has everything. And he was brutal during this game. 11 tackles to go with his close to 30 disposals.
Their midfield mix just looked completely different with him in it. Of course, class act, but it allows them to have that real good balance. You either got Nash in there as a tagger, or Warp or Newcomb being the inside bulls. Then you can bring more up. But as you mentioned, Lloydie, he is a bit of everything and just a star.
This is going to be a tight game, I think, with Richmond getting more experience back. I'm going to tip Hawthorn in a tight one, but they're going to be hard to beat.
I'm going to go the emotion of Dusty's 300, Tigers by 5 points.
Damo is one of the best tipsters I've seen.
I'm using the emotion of this game in my tipping assessment. Tigers,
Ed?
Yeah, there you go. Well, I don't care, but I'd love to see the Tigers, but I'll say 4 points.
Okay.
Because of?
Number 4.
There it is, number 4, of course.
It's a final in June for Brisbane and St Kilda. Must win. It's like a mini eliminational final for both clubs. And St Kilda head to the Gabba, winning their last 2. But Brisbane had a good win last week as well, Jim. And the Marcus Windhager-Lockie Neal one, I'm really looking forward to. So Marcus is one of the best taggers in the game. He got Nick Dacos, kept him to 9 disposals in 36 minutes. You can see Sarong, he did a good job on. Took Miller, was unbelievable last week. And he also has a good record on Lockie Neal.
Yeah, and Neal was absolutely dominant last week against the Dogs with 38 and 2 goals. And he won't get that sort of space with this gentleman, Windhager, who I love watching go about his business. He's tough, he's incredibly fit, and he's disciplined, and he sticks to task. Even when the opposition's trying to help out their man, which is good by the Lions, they're trying to help out Lockie Neal in this match. They're trying to lay a block on here, but look how close he sticks to his direct opponent. Just gets away with a little hold there, but he's on top of Lockie Neal, and that's what you need to do. You need to force, if you're not going to win it, a quick handball or a quick kick, but he still keeps his eyes on the ball here. When you look at this stoppage here, still wins it, forces it forward. And I love this. Look at the scores in the game. When the game's in the balance, still trying to push forward and make Lockie Neal chase him the other way. Lloydie, scoring.
Yeah, so the competition average is 83 points, which you can see over here. This is the Saints season so far, so twice they've got over the competition average in scoring. So it's a real concern. Forget about last week. This is across the whole season of where I just think you've got to go at St Kilda, because if you can put 4 or 5 goals on the board early, they will be chasing. But how can they score more, Jim?
Yeah, Ross and his Birkenstocks told us all this week that he had 56 inside forward 50s. Every Saint fan, we went forward. But it took me over a month, we were going back a month's worth of football, to find turnovers in your front half. They don't score. They're 18th in all statistical areas of scoring from your front half. And this one we just got in, it was just in the defensive half. You need to create forward half turnovers because it actually catches the opposition scrambling. And what they try and rely on is getting way back in their defensive 50 and make all their forwards charge back, and it's exhausting work. It's funny, these two brilliance by Machito Owens in the end, but still, look at Freo's defence, who's normally well organised. They're able to scramble a goal because of the defence. This is the other one that I found, which is turnover high. You want that man getting the ball, Sinclair, up inside your front half. And again, still scrambling here, Freo's defence, but you've got an opportunity one-on-one with some serious talent. So they've actually very good defensively. We tip our cap to Ross doing that, but get the ball up in your front half and defend it from there.
And Brisbane, I just think you go at them. So last week, Gold Coast panicked. They didn't know what to do to get through the defence of St Kilda, whereas Brisbane, they just got to go at the Saints and challenge this defence, get into 1v1s where they are one of the more dynamic teams in the competition. On Eric Hipwood, it was his best game, some are saying, he's ever had in his career. He had 20 disposals, kicked 6 goals, but he's also coming up against a guy in Josh Battle, who I think is in career best form. So the challenge for Eric is to say, no one expects you to kick 6 again, but can you kick your 3, have 15 disposals and contribute again for a second week?
Because what Battle is very good at is the one-on-ones, but he can launch from the back 50. He's a beautiful kick of the footy, but Eric looked strong last week against Liam Jones and then was moving around the ground really well.
How comfortable Brisbane, or what do you think?
I don't think it'll be comfortable because we know St Kilda can make the game really tight. I think Brisbane by a couple of goals just because being up at the Gabba.
Yeah, the other game we're going to look at is obviously the Western Bulldogs and the Fremantle Dockers. And Tim English, we've put him under pressure a little bit, but not sure whether it's the concussions, the pre-season that he had, but he just wasn't competitive enough last week.
Yeah, I was at this game and this is what was disappointing. He's just accepting contact here from Big O. If you're a ruckman and you realise you're not going to be the strongest, at least get off him and try something else. Run and jump, try and tap the ball, or do the old ruckman gag where they get too far back and they come charging in. But just accepting contact will not be good enough because this man here manhandled Max Gawn in the centre bounces in Darcy. He's physical, he's strong, and then you add the other element. Luke Jackson's going to be running around the ground trying to push him forward. Yeah,
Tim English gave away 6 free kicks last week because he is second to the football at the moment. Well, the Fremantle side, they're as good a clearance side as there is in the competition right now. Hayden Young, Andrew Brayshaw, Caleb Sarong, they are superstars and they're going to challenge the Dogs in this area.
Yeah, they're all averaging over 5 clearances a game, which they're on actually world record pace for that statistical area. Throwing Nat Fife, who's a big brute around the ball, but what they're doing really well is getting out through the front of the stoppage or getting really deep inside forward 50.
At three-quarter time against the Pies, I was questioning the Dockers for just what sort of football are they playing, but they turn it around in the last quarter and then were phenomenal last game.
Have a look at their last 5 quarters compared to the season averages. This is exceptional, and this is a Freo we didn't expect, as you touched on, Lloydie, and what we want to see a bit more of. I know there's going to be moments in the game where you've got to play slow and safe, but like as we mentioned with the Saints, don't live in your back 50 and kick it sideways. At different stages, you've got to ask questions of the opposition, and they've certainly got the midfield that can do that. So
there's no Aaron Norton again, there's no Darcy again. So Jamarra Ugle-Hagan, I think he's underperforming, and I just don't think he's getting to enough contests. So he kicked his 2 goals last week, but he had 8 possessions. So I think he's like Buddy in a sense where he's got a good work rate. He can run, he can get up and high. But I just don't think he's using that enough. I think they play him too close to goal. And he's got to be the man this week, I think, if they are to win against a pretty tough Fremantle defence.
Yeah, I'm going to tip the Dockers because I think their defence is excellent and we just highlighted the midfield stars.
Yeah, I'm tipping the Dockers as well.